Hello there, Toonami. What a cracking day to be talking about our beloved Newcastle United. The sun might be shining somewhere in the northeast, but regardless of the weather, there's always sunshine when we discuss the mighty Magpies, isn't there? Have you been wondering how our gaffer Eddie Howe has been holding up after that concerning bout of pneumonia? And what do you make of these transfer rumors linking us with Matheus Cunha? Is he the attacking spark we need, or should we be focusing our efforts elsewhere? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Howe's health boost and Champions League dreams. Our beloved gaffer Eddie Howe has given fans a welcome health update this week, and it's brilliant news for everyone connected with the club. After a worrying spell with pneumonia that saw him hospitalized last month, the head coach is approaching full fitness again. And in typical Howe fashion, he's already finding ways to have a laugh about it. During his media briefing at our Benton training base, Howe revealed with a smile that he's been getting back to exercise in the most Newcastle United way possible, by joining a training session with the club's under-9s side. I feel okay. I did my first bit of exercise yesterday. Actually, I was playing against our under-9s in the Dome, and I looked pretty sharp, Howe quipped. I was quite pleased. I maybe gave the ball away once. Now that's the kind of dedication and humor we've come to love from the man who's transformed our club. It's easy to forget just how serious his condition was. Pneumonia is no laughing matter, and the fact that Howe made the decision to return to work after just 2 weeks despite requiring hospital treatment speaks volumes about his commitment to Newcastle United. The gaffer was noticeably more subdued than usual during his return to the dugout for our commanding 3-0 victory over Ipswich Town, and he called upon Graham Jones for some additional touchline support at Brighton, with Jason Tindall absent. But now, with his strength returning day by day, Howe's focus is firmly fixed on the 3 massive fixtures that lie ahead. The stakes couldn't be higher. A top 5 finish and the European riches that would follow are tantalizing prospects for everyone connected with the best club in the world. What's particularly striking is Howe's honesty about the expectations surrounding Champions League football. We feel an expectation, certainly internally, to try to deliver Champions League football, he admitted. It was an expectation that we placed upon ourselves. This is exactly what we want to hear from our manager. No hiding away from ambition, no downplaying what's possible. Newcastle United under Eddie Howe are a club transformed, a club that believes it belongs among Europe's elite. The confidence that's flowing through the squad at the moment stems largely from that magnificent cup final triumph. As Howe explained, winning the cup final, I think, gave us a freedom and a newfound confidence off the back of achieving that. That gave us a bounce in the next few games. We elevated our performance off the back of that. While acknowledging that the euphoria of that victory might have faded somewhat, that feels like it was, in football terms, quite a while ago, the manager insists that the squad needs to still use and take that confidence, but now we have to focus on these last 3 games knowing, for me, just how good the team can be. That final statement should send shivers down the spines of our remaining opponents. Eddie Howe knows just how good the team can be, and we've all seen glimpses of that quality throughout this roller coaster season. From the free-flowing attacking football that tore apart teams at St. James Park, to the gritty defensive displays that ground out results when our backs were against the wall, this Newcastle United side has shown it can compete with anyone. The immediate challenge is clear. Chelsea arrive at St. James Park on Sunday afternoon level on points, with the Magpies but behind us on goals scored. It's effectively a 6-pointer in the race for European football, and the sort of high-stakes encounter that Newcastle United players of the past might have wilted in, but not this group, not under Eddie Howe. What's particularly encouraging is seeing our manager back to full health and embracing the challenge ahead. The image of him having a kickabout with the under-9s, probably teaching them a thing or two about pressing and positional play, speaks volumes about his character and his connection to the club at all levels. That holistic approach to management, understanding that Newcastle United is more than just the first team, is why Howe has been such a perfect fit for us. With 3 games to go, Champions League football remains a realistic target. The fact we're even discussing this possibility in May shows how far we've come. But make no mistake, Eddie Howe and his players won't be satisfied with just being in the conversation. They want to deliver, and with our gaffer back to full strength, who would bet against them? Now onto what might just be one of the biggest transfer stories of the summer for Newcastle United, the potential arrival of Matheus Cunha. The Brazilian attacker has been lighting it up at Wolves, but it looks increasingly likely that he'll be departing Molineux once the season wraps up, and wouldn't he look absolutely fantastic in black and white stripes? What makes Cunha such an attractive proposition for the Magpies is his versatility across the front line. In the modern game, having players who can operate in multiple positions is absolutely priceless, and the 25-year-old has demonstrated throughout his career that he can be effective whether deployed centrally or out wide. The sort of player that gives managers like Eddie Howe tactical flexibility and opponents headaches in equal measure. Recent reports suggest that Newcastle United have already made contact with Cunha's representatives to explore the possibility of bringing him to St. James's Park. It's an exciting development, but we're certainly not the only club with our eyes on this particular prize. In fact, there's quite the queue forming for the Brazilian's signature, and we're going to have to fight off some serious competition if we want to see him donning our famous colors next season. Manchester United are currently leading the race. According to most sources, with newly appointed manager Ruben Amorim reportedly making Cunha one of his priority targets. There's even talk that the player himself favors a move to Old Trafford, though I'd question anyone's sanity who'd choose. Manchester over Newcastle, especially with the incredible project we've got going on Tyneside. And now, according to TalkSport, Arsenal are preparing to throw their hat into the ring as well. The Gunners apparently showed interest in Cunha during the January transfer window and are now ready to reignite their pursuit by opening talks with his representatives. With so many Premier League heavyweights circling, it's clear that Cunha is seen as one of the hottest properties in the upcoming transfer market. What's particularly interesting is the timeline we're looking at here. The same report suggests that Cunha is hoping to choose his next club before the end of the current season, which means we could know his decision in just a matter of weeks, with the final fixtures of the campaign set to take place on May 25th. It's going to be a fast-moving situation that could develop rapidly over the coming days. The financial aspects of any potential deal are also worth noting. Cunha has a £62.5 million release clause in his contract at Wolves, which effectively puts a cap on his transfer fee. While that's certainly not pocket change, it does at least provide clarity for all interested parties about the cost of getting a deal over the line. There will be no prolonged negotiation process or bidding war. It's a straight shootout between the clubs who are willing to meet that valuation. Unfortunately, it seems Newcastle United might be at a disadvantage when it comes to the wage package they can offer. According to the Daily Mail's Craig Hope, Manchester United are prepared to blow us out of the water in that department. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Hope revealed, "I can see why Newcastle were aligned on Matheus Cunha. But my latest information on that is Manchester United are offering him $50, $60, $70, $80,000 more than probably what would currently be on the table at Newcastle. That's a significant difference that could potentially sway Cunha's decision, regardless of the incredible atmosphere and passionate fan base he'd experience at St. James's Park. Let's be honest, we all know that money talks in modern football. Though you'd hope that players would consider factors beyond their bank balance when making career choices, given all these developments, it's looking increasingly unlikely that we'll win the race for Cunha's signature. That's disappointing. Of course, he's exactly the kind of quality addition that could help take us to the next level in both domestic and European competition. But if there's one thing we've learned since the takeover, it's that Newcastle United's recruitment team always has alternatives in mind. Indeed, Paul Mitchell and his team are reportedly already turning their attention elsewhere, with Brentford's Brian Mbeumo emerging as a potential target. The Cameroonian international has been in scintillating form for the Bees and could be a more natural fit for our style of play under Eddie Howe. Brentford are said to be willing to listen to offers, though they'll demand north of $60 million to part with one of their prized assets. Mbeumo has demonstrated his quality in the Premier League over several seasons now, consistently delivering goals and assists while displaying the kind of work ethic that would endear him to the Toon Army. His direct running, ability to beat a man, and eye for goal would add yet another dimension to our already potent attack. Just imagine him linking up with Alexander Isak, Anthony Gordon, and the rest of our forward line. Opposition defenses would be terrified. While missing out on Cunha would be a blow, it would be typical of the smart, strategic approach we've seen from the club's recruitment team to already have viable alternatives lined up. That ability to pivot quickly when one target proves unattainable is the hallmark of a well-run football club, and it's yet another indication of how far we've come in such a short space of time. Well, that's all from St. James Park for today. Lads and lasses, keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. The next few weeks promise to be absolutely massive both on and off the pitch. 3 crucial games that could determine our European fate, and transfer developments that will shape next season's squad. What a time to be a Newcastle United supporter. Away the lads.